Hi, family. Okay, so I was thinking about some stuff today, and I wanted to share with you guys something, and it's talking about the timelines. Okay, first off, in case everybody wants to know, yeah, I believe in Jesus, but not the Jesus in the King James Bible or James Stewart's Bible. Not that Jesus, because that whole book is just ridiculous. Anyway, it's all Freemason religion, um, pawned off to all the churches so they can get you all, you know, tithing to the Vatican or whatever, which is a whole nother story, which I don't really want to get into right now. But what I want to get into right now is I'm just saying that because I don't want anybody to question my faith, because my faith is in Jesus Christ, but in the Father of truth. And the Father in the Bible tells us that he's going to send all these lying prophets to get everybody to do what he wants to do. And then it has a story with Paul in the Bible who claims that he gathers all these Christians or believers, because that's what it's referencing. Anybody with a brain can figure that out. But if, here's what I'm saying. That we are mind and soul and heart, and those who don't have the spirit of truth, or the spirit of the true God, have demons, spirits of demons, or which is lying, manipulating, stealing from people, hurting people, raping little children, murdering babies, stuff like that. So because they have they don't have the spirit of God in them that helps them know right from wrong. Okay, they have a soul. I mean, for a long time, everybody been saying they're soulless. So they have a soul. Yaltabaoth blew the soul into man. So we humans have souls. They don't. Okay, or they have souls, because that's why they become ghosts, or they come back, because they have a soul. So they get a body and they get a soul. Now, what spirit are they? And that's debatable. Like, if it's the spirit of, okay, so in the Bible, the Old Testament is about Satan. Okay, the New Testament is about Lucifer, and Proverbs, the Holy Spirit of their Bible, is Lilith, because she says, "Oh, I'm going to prepare my meal and slay my beast." Okay, so being a vegetarian and believing the Gnostic Jesus that didn't slay animals or sacrifice them or eat them or anything like that, which, is evil to have to kill an animal to survive. Really? I mean, would you kill your child because your child is a human animal? I mean, anything that has blood in it. Plus, I got into debate with somebody the other day. It was ridiculous, telling me, because he's so indoctrinated into the Bible that they're like, "Oh, fish aren't animals. Fish don't have blood." And I'm like, "Fish have blood, dude. Fish have blood. They have." So I sent him some posts. Hemoglobin, red blood, fish have blood. You're eating blood. Okay, so this is a practice that the evil spirits, taught man how to do this. So everything has been like manipulation and lies, and so you can follow the lies if you want to. You're more than welcome to follow that train of thought. That's I don't recommend it, because it's a program, like the Wizard of Oz. It's a program. You're programmed into the Matrix, which is in the Bible, which a lot of people, I talk to my friends, they don't even know the word Matrix is in the Bible. Okay, and the reason it's in the Bible, that's what I want to get into, is, you see this line right here? Okay, I drew this line. Okay, if I was to get something and erase this line, make it go away, okay, then you couldn't see this line. Okay, but there might be a little residual left of that line that I can't quite erase really well. So then you know, you might say, hey, I remember that line, you know, I remember that. Well, that's what deja vu is. And I'm pretty sure, just from my own observations, because I have pretty good damn memory, I'm telling you. I remember past lives, I remember past timelines, I remember a lot of things. Plus, I have dreams ever since I was born. I know everything in the future. And it's not some super duper gift as they want you to believe it is. It's just remembering, okay? It's like, okay, they try to make everything bigger than it really is. Just like speaking in tongues. Oh my God, yes, yeah. I can do all that, you know, but I spoke Spanish, Latin, you name it. Only because I spoke those in past lives. So it's very fluent for me to speak in tongues, you know, and they try to make that into something that it's not. Okay, so anyway, the timeline thing is that, okay, so when you have a deja vu, it means part of your erasure, you remembered just a moment of a line that was there, and that you're like, been here, done this, I remember that, and then you go on because the rest has been erased, so you can't remember. So that's what happens when you come into this matrix, okay, of Yaltabaoth, you know, the demiurge, the creator of the world. The word demiurge means the creator God. So the creator is evil. Yeah, Jesus tried to tell you that. But you don't want to believe that because you want to believe that God is good and the whole thing is all good and everything, you know. So you just turn all the bad into good. It's just, that's why people do this ritual where they're drinking his blood and eating his flesh in remembrance of him, like, and that's supposed to be something that I want to do, or that we should want to do. There's what I want to, like, would you want to eat your kids' blood or eat their, well, I guess if you're a devil, you wouldn't mind doing it, you know, because you don't have the Spirit of God in you. But the Spirit of God is truth, okay? And so if you have strong faith in truth, then you're going to reject lies. And if you read the Bible where it says that God's a liar, and which most of y'all are in denial of it because you're so indoctrinated, MK Ultra, to the program that you can't break it, okay? Because you're so afraid you're going to burn in hell, or, you know, what are you going to hang on to? What are you going to believe in? Why don't you try believing in the truth? And why don't you reject somebody who admittedly tells you in the Bible that they're lying to you? They're lying. Okay? But yet you're going to say, I'm going to think that's God's word. Okay? God doesn't lie. Okay? He doesn't lie. Okay? If he does, you know, I mean, his name is Satan. Okay? Just saying. Anyway, so back to the timeline. I'm trying to get to the timeline thing. Okay. So I'm pretty sure we're in the 11th timeline. I can remember pretty much a lot of my timelines. First one wasn't so good. It created a whole lot of karma that affected my whole entire family and everybody around me, which was pretty bad. But I remember on one timeline, I died in it. There was like 3 days of darkness. And a lot of people turn into damn zombies, you know, like the Walking Dead kind of stuff. Like they got possessed by demons, and it was a really bad one. That was a bad timeline. That was like the really worst one. So I don't think that one's, you know, anywhere near this one. You know, people talk about 3 days of darkness, but, you know, probably the most we're going to have is 3 days of no internet, you know, whatever. That'll be the darkness, you know, this one. It'll be a lot different. But I went to go see the movie Bumblebee with my son, like, you know, a year or two ago, whatever it was. And I was like, isn't this movie been here before? Haven't we seen this movie before? No, Mom, it's a new movie. No, I've seen this movie before. I said, I saw it with Tasha like 15 years ago. And I said, I can tell you the whole movie, you know. I was like, I saw it, you know. I remember it clearly. Bumblebee goes in the house and he destroys her parents' house, and he does all this terrible stuff. The parents get really mad and, you know, tears up the house, and when the girl comes home, and I'm like, how would I know that? How would I know every detail? I can tell you the characters, the whole movie. She's the same house on the beach. I mean, come on. Everything's the same. You know, it even looks like an old movie, but it's like made out to be like it's a new movie. He goes, nope, it's first time. I was like, oh, God, okay. Anyway, so then we went to go see Dumbo a couple years ago. I was with my friends. I got, oh my God, we were here like, I can remember we were here last year. And we sat here, we watched this movie. I know this whole scene. I'll tell you every part of this scene. I've already seen it, you know. And we were here. And I go, they reset us a year ago. It's now I know that they reset us again maybe 6 months ago. It's been another reset. And you know, that's what the Big Bang is. The Big Bang is it's like the reset button. That's what Jesus told me. I spent about 3 years. Once he told me to basically erase all the garbage that everybody else has put into me, and he was going to teach me. So he started teaching me one word at a time, and then I studied, and he led me, and he talked to me, and he showed me all kinds of things. He showed me the whole world is worshiping Lucifer under the sign of the Freemasons, or which is the Bible, basically. Whole world is worshiping him, thinking that he is God, and then you know all these children are being sacrificed and killed, and right under everybody's noses because they're all following Lucifer, you know, the false light, you know, everybody. And if you read the New Testament, it calls him the bright morning star, which we all know that was a reference in the Old Testament to the bright morning star, Lucifer, who fell, okay? So the New Testament is now the bright morning star. So, I mean, come on, people, connect the dots. Connect the dots. Stop being in denial, okay? Stop telling yourself that the lie is the truth, okay? It's not. A lie is a lie is a lie is a lie, okay? Period. And Paul says in the Bible, if I if I got you all, basically, I'm going to put it in my, you know, my words, but it says it's pretty much referencing the same thing. Paul's saying, if I get all the people to follow God, you know, because of my lie, because I'm a liar and I lied to them to get them to come to God, does it make me a sinner? Okay, yeah, not a sinner, Paul. It makes you a liar. Okay, whatever. You know, you can use the word sinner, whatever if you want. I don't really care. But lying is lying. Period. Okay, yeah, that's a lie. Yeah, but okay. So you can call it what you want, but if someone lies to me, I'm done. I'm done. Okay. So when I read in the Bible that they're lying to me, why am I going to believe anything else they're going to say? And why should you? Are you going to trust a liar? I mean, okay, go ahead and trust them. They're just going to keep on lying to you and keep on lying to you and keep on lying to you. And, you know, okay, fine. Then you're in the liars club, right? Whatever. So everything is a lie. Pretty much, you know, I mean, basically that's where they're going to lead you down the wrong path. So they might tell you a few truths along the way, and then, you know, just like what does any good con artist do? Okay, any good con artist tell you what you want to hear for a little while, and then, but he's lying to you because why? He's taking advantage of you, right? And that's what that is. King James was not a good person, and he wrote that Bible, and he said, "Oh, this is King James Stewart," which, you know, King James 1, 2, and 3 was some of my ancestors, as was all the kings of Jerusalem and England, from King Fulk to King Henry to King John, were my ancestors, you know, as long, you know, I mean, I could, Wycliffe was my grandfather. William Tyndale was my great uncle, who was burnt at the stake by the Catholic Church because he said the church is not a building, it is the believers. So the church is like, oh my God, we got to kill this guy because he's going to ruin our church. You know, people are going to know that, you know, that religion is, you know, bogus. Okay. So anyway, here's the thing. That Bible is about Satan, Lucifer, and Lilith. Okay. It's written by King James, who was, you know, was a man lover. Okay. A murderer of 80,000 people, murdered them. When he took over England, he was King of Scotland and England, King 6 of Scotland, King 1 of England, and he murdered 80,000 people and butchered them like a Satanist. He gutted them. He hung them. He gutted them. He cut them up in pieces while they were still alive. Kids. King James, the guy that you think wrote the greatest book in the world, a book of lies, that every Freemason in the world follows, because it's about Lucifer. Okay, their god Lucifer. Okay, and y'all think that that saved your life. No, it didn't save your life. It didn't save your life. What saved your life? What saved your life? What saved your life? Okay, the Spirit of God saved your life. Okay, that's what saved your life. Okay, it's the Spirit. Okay, because God, the real God, is good and is truth, and He's not the God in those books. Okay, those books. Okay, if you want to go all the way back to Enoch, Enoch was the first scribe, right? And Enoch is also known by the Greek as Hermes. It's where Mount Hermon was. Think about it. What did Enoch do? He was on the side of the fallen angels. The demons, yeah, he was on their side. Okay, so he's teaching men how to read and write and use ink, write with the ink. And so he's starting to spell you with his spellings, with his words. He's taking those words and he's spelling you, and you're reading it and you're being spelled by it. Okay? So stop. Stop allowing them to spell you. Break the spell. Break the lies. Break the manipulation. Break the control. Break free. Be free. Let your faith be stronger in the true Jesus. A Jesus that was not of this world or part of it or in the stories of it, unless you want to go all the way back 2,000 years when some of the writings and stuff were, which you got to know that these kings and these rulers and these religious people got every document, every piece of evidence they could do, and they took it. Okay, they took it and they kept it from you. Okay, some of it slipped through the cracks. Okay, but what they gave you was false lies. Okay, what they allowed you to have was manipulation of lies. King Henry, my grandfather, who was not a good person, killed Thomas Becket in the church in Canterbury, England. He didn't actually kill him, but he sent 4 of his knights over there, which he claims he didn't actually tell them to go. Okay, his best friend was the Archbishop Thomas Becket. Thomas felt like, as church, if somebody had done something wrong, he could forgive them, and then, they would get fined. And King Henry said, no, I'm the king, and, basically I'm the state and this politics. I have more power than you do, Thomas. So he got very angry because it was a fight between church and state at that time. And that was in 1100 something, 1160 something, or 11 something. So, we're talking like 900 years ago. Okay. So the 4 knights, and one of them was Fitzurse, who was also one of my grandfathers. He was one of the knights for the king. Those 4 went over there and brutally murdered Thomas right there in the church, killed him, and then fled. Of course, had to flee because it was a murder. And my fled to France. Yeah, all the kings of England and all that, they're all from France. The kings of Jerusalem, they're all French, all of them. Everything started in France. Even Odin, which is my namesake, which I'm an Altvater, which is Odin, is from France. And his father was born in Norway, Switzerland, or whatever. But, which is also Charlemagne de Groot, okay? Charles de Groot, Charlemagne Martel was also my grandfather. The King of Troy and Helen was my ancestors. Pocahontas was one of my ancestors. John Rolfe from England was one of, they just go on and on and on, One of my grandfathers tutored, actually one of my grandfathers wrote the book of Psalms for King James. He sold out, and he was given Nova Scotia in America from King James. But Sinclair, the Sinclair Castle, he's one of my grandfathers who went to Jerusalem to get all the documents, and that's where the Freemasonry started, but it was infiltrated and take over. Everything was about just taking the documents, getting control, everything. The whole world is about power and control. Who has the truth, or who can have the most control. So how do you control the people? Through politics and through religion. That's how you do it. And if you can get them all into into a religion, then you can get them all to feel like they have to give their money to the church, and then you could support them financially, because all that money that are going to the non-denominational churches are all under the Vatican. So all that money is going over, yeah, it's all going there. So you think what you want to think, but if you do your homework, you'll find the truth. But you're going to have to dig pretty deep. You have to go down that. Alice had to go way down that rabbit hole, okay? And unless you're willing to go way down that hole, you're not going to find anything, okay? So it's going to take a lot of prayer and a lot of seeking to find the truth, okay? And a lot of prayer. And you better have Jesus on your side. Because without Jesus, all these other people are trusting in these Anunnaki gods, Yahweh and Jehovah. That's Anu and Enki and Enlil. Those are from freaking evil ass motherfuckers. Excuse my French, but my grandfather Falk. Okay, I make a little joke here. Excuse me, grandfather, but he was born in France, King of Jerusalem, Falk. So I guess when they wanted to find my grandfather, they say, "Where's the fucking king at?" Excuse my French. It is what it is. Probably is where all this French language came from, right? So, excuse my French, but it's part of who I am. It's my DNA. It's in my blood. It's in my genes. It's in my cells. It's in my memory, okay? So, it is what it is, and I'm sorry if you don't like it. That's too bad, Stop telling people what to believe, okay? Just start doing your own research and research these things. I'm telling you some facts. If you accept the facts, great. Take it further. If you don't want to believe it, then, that's on you. You can stay in your little, make-believe illusionary world and pretend everything is hunky-dory when, it's obviously not. Everybody's running around with masks on right now, and, President Trump said, "What? This is a bigger hoax than the other hoax, that they pulled, So, this little animal virus that's going around, and it's attaching itself to your parasites, So if you stopped eating the animals, I'm not saying that's the cure. I'm saying you got parasites. Why do you think the Muslims and the Jews won't touch pork or pig? Because the parasites in those things, oh my God, will eat your brain. You'll end up with dementia and Alzheimer's and everything else, because those things hatch in there and they just have a feast on your brains, So that's why they won't touch the stuff. But parasites are in everything and everywhere. The ones in the meat are the worst, but in the animals, that's why animals die so quickly, and you're eating something that's going to die very quickly anyway, because, I worm my animals practically it should be wormed like every 6 weeks, technically. So this virus, it needs a host. It's like a vampire. It needs a host. It needs a parasite. So the more parasites you have in your body, the sicker you're going to get. So do a parasite cleanse. Cleanse yourself out. Get rid of these parasites. And you should be fine from any viruses that are going around attaching themselves. It's kind of like the mistletoe. Mistletoe is a parasitic plant. It can't live off the soil. It can't live of its own. It has to have another plant to host off of. It's like a little vampire, So anyway, I just wanted to share the timelines where we're at. I do remember one of the timelines when I died. This is the upside down world, like in Stranger Things. Oh, and the movies are all disclosure. Movies are true. They use them in military too for teaching people what's going on. But in Stranger Things, I think they call it the upside down world. I'm not a big Stranger fan, even though, what, Susie, do you copy? Yeah, they're kind of, I get it. And we were going to Illinois. Yeah, we went to Illinois. Okay, I get that part. Me and Agent 11. Okay, I get that part. So, but it's the upside down world. What that means in the upside down world is that when you die, okay, it's upside down. So I got stuck on this stupid cloud when I died, okay? And there was nothing there. It wasn't like I died in this timeline, not in into another body, new life, I wasn't born again into another body, okay? I came back into this body, kind of like the a resurrection sort of thing, resurrected from the dead sort of thing. But I died because I got, I don't know how I died, but I just remember up to a point what happened that day, and then it got dark, and then the demons started taking over the dead people, and they started killing everybody. Yeah, it was pretty crazy. I was in Ohio on a honeymoon with my husband. It was really bad. Anyway, it got dark. I ran in the closet and hid for 3 days, and the demons killed my family. It was horrible. I do remember that. And then all of a sudden I'm on this stupid cloud, and it's nothing there. I was stuck. Kind of like you get these ghosts stuck in a house or something. I was just stuck. So my husband decided to come. There's a door, and he went through the door, and I knew he was coming back here. But I didn't want to come back. But I waited for a long time. And then I finally went through the door because I was worried about him. And then I ended up being born 22 years before him because it's the upside down world, see? So if I'd have gone first, then it's like the opposite. He was born first, or I was born first because I got here last. So the last is first and the first is last, sort of thing. But the upside down world is freaking weird. Anyway, it's if you knew stuff about the Mandela effect, it kind of explains this timeline a little bit. The movie Gorillas in the Mist was about Jane Goodall, and then Jane Goodall gets killed by the poachers, and she took care of gorillas. But the other day, Jane Goodall's on the video doing chimpanzees, working with science, and it's some other lady named Diane that supposedly was, but this was a documentary. Many people remember it. Many people remember Carol Burnett dying a couple of times, and different people. She's not dead anyway. And they remember quotes in movies like "Build it and they will come," but it doesn't say that anymore. It says "Build it and he will come," because it's a different timeline. So in the Bible, it used to say all that come. And I read the Bible 7 times in the Jewish Bible, so I pretty much had it all memorized until all these Mandela effect changes come in, and then it's alterations of the word. But it used to say all the firstborn of the womb belong to me, firstborn male, went on to say, talk about that in the Old Testament. But now it says all the first that enter the matrix is mine. So the matrix is the whole world is run by the demiurge, which is an AI, artificial type computer that was built by a man a long time ago, and it's running the matrix. So it's like the Wizard of Oz. We're in the Oz program or whatever. Alice is lost in Oz. We're all lost in Oz. Trying to get home. Good luck. Good luck. But anyway, I just wanted to share that line thing, and maybe explain why sometimes you can remember something that happened before, or you have memories. Because you didn't totally get erased, okay? Even though you get erased, and that's why you can't remember. You have a hard time remembering past lives. I was Joan of Arc, I was Theodora, and I was Sarah Bernhardt. Okay, I remember those. Okay, I remember those lifetimes. It's also my DNA lineage. Okay, so it's also who I was. Okay, but I remember certain things I did, and but they didn't, not everything is erased, okay? But they do have technology to do that. They can erase you. And this is what MK Ultra victims are talking about. They're tortured, they're erased and stuff like that. And they're trying to regain their memory and stuff like that. So they experiment on a lot of people. There's a lot of that going on, but this is a program that we're into, all of us. Everybody is under MK Ultra. Every single human being. And no matter who you are, you're all being mind controlled. And that's how it is, because you live in the matrix. Okay? I want to say, keep your faith, follow the truth, look for the truth, believe in the truth, and reject the lies. And if you see somebody that's lying, don't trust liars or thieves. They're con artists. Okay? All right. God bless. And that is not the God that we've thought was God, But the spirit, okay, because you are heart and you are soul, and what makes you human is that you have the spirit of God in you, the true God, the truth, the God of truth, okay? Not the God of lies, who's Satan, okay? They don't have that spirit. They have an unholy spirit or a lying spirit, okay? So this is why they lie to you, okay? This is why they want to know what we know, okay? They want to know what we know because why? Because they don't have that spirit, okay? They have demons that tell them things, and them demons are pretty damn smart. I'll give them that. I've confronted quite a few of them, and they will pull some out of you. Yeah, they will. They are really tricky, you know. So they know a lot of stuff, but they're liars. Okay, and you'd never trust a liar. Bottom line. All right. Have a great day. I got to get that. I had to get that out. All right. Bye.